What is going on, YouTube? I am Adam Davis, and I am the average snake keeper. And I have not seen you guys in ages, and I do apologize about that. But I am sadly here with news to basically tell you that I will not see you again for another long time. Clearly, as you've seen, ever since I made this move, it has been tough for me to regularly pump out content. And there's a lot of factors to that. One is just a change in my own work schedule. The other is just how just the setup here in this house works for just having just being able to set up a camera, and with where I have the animals housed and space and all that kind of stuff, that already is not optimal. And then the last part is going to be the subject of today's video, and that is going to be the fact that I am technically not supposed to have these animals in this apartment. And I'm going to make a little kind of video discussing that, I suppose, today. So I've been lucky enough in that everywhere that I have kind of lived with these animals, that it hasn't been a real big deal that I've had them, and that they, luckily enough, I don't have a huge collection of snakes. Well, I've never had more than 5 at once. I've worked only with 7 individuals over the last 5 years. I've got Dutch out with me, by the way, if you guys don't remember. You can go back, he's been in a couple videos, but this is Dutch. He is a hypo-motley common boa imperator. Say hi, Dutchy. Dutch is the second snake I ever got, and he is just the best boy. Probably just my calmest, most tolerant snake I have. Not a snake, I think, that I own that I trust more than him. The short-tail pythons they're both up there, but I haven't had them as long as I've had this boy here. So, as much as neither of them put up a fuss about anything, I just know I can pick this snake right up, and he's just not going to do anything. He can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to put back in his enclosure and grabs onto me and things, but I just know nothing phases this animal. He does not bite. He's just the best. But anyway, I've only ever had a couple of these animals, basically, under one roof. They're easy to tuck away in a corner. None of them are too big. Shao Kahn's my biggest. Dutch here's my second biggest. And even for a young boa, sub-adult boa, Dutch is pushing just under 5 feet long here, and he's not that huge, so it's easy to put him in a tub and tuck him away and kind of hide him. And the rack setup that I have for these guys just basically looks, they live in shelving units, basically, So it's not hard for them to just kind of sit away inconspicuously. So, it's not like I have 20, 30, 50, 100 of these guys all of a sudden now that are gonna be noticeable, carry a smell, or be some big deal that really can't just kind of fly under the radar. So they've been easy to, like I said, just not kind of be a big deal as far as if an apartment said, we don't want you to have an animal. And then a lot of other apartments, when they, a landlord says, we're not into you guys having animals, they're really just looking out that you don't have a dog or a cat or some mammal or something that's running around and leaving hair everywhere and scratching up the furniture and just wrecking the house. A lot of times they don't care if you have something that lives in a tank or lives in a tub and doesn't get out and wreck the place. So sometimes they don't really care if you have kind of a small exotic animal like this. You can get away with telling a landlord, hey, well, I don't have a dog or a cat that's gonna, you know, crash the place or wreck the place or shred anything up. But you know, I've got a snake that lives in a Tupperware drawer, and you can kind of get away with that. Last house that I lived in was, you know, totally cool with it. Supported and helped me even film these videos, so that was awesome. So all that was pretty cool. The apartment we lived in before that, they didn't kind of really care either. So I've had a lot of good luck. This landlord we're dealing with now, they're a little finicky. I don't think they're really super thrilled about having any animals at all in here. And our upstairs neighbor, who is luckily away for the weekend, she's not here right now, but the walls are paper thin, and she, the other day, we found out she overheard some conversation between me and my roommate and ratted us out to the landlords about just some really dumb stuff. But we got a text from the landlord that basically had a word for word conversation between the two of us. So that was a little unnerving. So it basically let me know that, you know, like I said, she's gone for the weekend now. I can sit and I can make this video. But I'm not too keen to try, while she's hanging around, to be bringing the camera out and talking about my animal collection, if I know that she's feeding information to our landlord. So I'm going to be putting between this and everything else that makes shooting videos here hard. You know, I just got a new job. I'm working 7 days a week. I'm trying to launch another new business, a new coaching business, working still with all my personal training clients. Dutch is a handful. This is what owning a boa is like. If you want a snake that sits in your lap, get yourself a ball python, or even one of those short tail pythons that I have, where you can just kind of just sit and hold it. If you want to handle a snake as an activity, get a boa. Hey boy, what are you doing? Climbing. He's always got to climb. He sits and does nothing when he's in his tub, but you take him out and it's adventure time. Time to climb. But anyway, just between all of this, I've just got to put this project on hold. I do not want to completely abandon this channel. This was bringing me a lot of joy while some things were really looking down in life. So I do, you know, I love my animals. I do have a lot of things that I want to do with them. I do have a lot of things I want to say. But I've got to just put the channel on hold, I think, until I get out of this apartment. Our lease is up in April. So just a few more months, and I want to get myself into hopefully a spot of my own, or, you know, maybe we'll see what's going on in my life by then. But I want out of here. I hate it here. So that's kind of my plan. So hopefully by spring and summertime, I can get this kind of full swing again to start having a regular content feed for you guys again. Whether it's weekly like I wanted is one thing, but even if it's bi-weekly or even just monthly, get some videos back out and see what's going on. My Instagram page is still active, so you can follow me on Instagram, again, at The Average Snake Keeper. So there's still definitely content there, but I can't be sitting here just yelling about snakes while the state of our leases up in the air. But again, it's one of those things where, like I said, it's easy to hide these animals, but you've got to take into account for you and the animals, if you're doing stuff like I, been doing, that you've got to accept the fact that you could get evicted. Again, you've got something like a ball python, yeah. That thing could be living in a 32-quart tub, and you can just tuck it away in the corner, but you have to accept the fact that you're sneaking in something that your landlord is telling you that you can't have. You're probably going to be okay, but take it in knowing that you could get your ass kicked out. So like, know that if you've got, anybody else with you that's dependent on you and things like that, that it's, you've got to take this into account on your own. My roommate, he knows I have these animals. We've been living together for six months. So, he took me in here with him. So we've been living as a team for a while. So everything that we do, we're doing at risk together. But then take these things into account for you and for your animals. I have backups. I have some friends who have offered me places to stay already and things like that. Not because of my animals, but just because they've offered it to me. They're not in places that I would like to live, but I know no matter what, I would have people who I could go crash with who would take me in, but I wouldn't be completely totally screwed. But just think about stuff like that. Pet friendly housing is out there. People are out there renting and able to do things like have a cat. So you can probably find somewhere where you can have a snake. But you do have to think about, just like if you have something like a cat or a dog, and you want to think about where you're going in life. Especially if you're renting and you're taking it with you, it's the same kind of thing. If you just have something like a snake, it's, are you gonna just wing it and play it the way that I kind of have, where you're just like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just I'm gonna keep them in my rack system, or even if it's just like a PVC cage or whatever, it's it's just like a plastic enclosed container, and I'll just throw a blanket over it and everything will be fine. It probably will. It really probably will, but it might not. You gotta be ready for that. So you gotta make sure you got a backup, because if you don't, well, you gotta find either a place to rehome yourself or your animals. And do you have that ready to go? Because like I said, I have both people ready and willing to take me in, and I know I have places that, God forbid, if I had to get rid of all 4 of these animals, that they could go, and that where they could go, and I could trust that they would be taken care of. Again, both of those scenarios, not something I want to face. Absolutely not, because I wish to death that I could get something like a cat right now, because I'm starving for affection. That even, Dutchie, I love you, but I know you don't love me the way that I love you. That an animal like that could give me, but I don't have it. So instead, right now, caring for these guys gives me that kind of purpose and that kind of love. I love animals in general. I've always had a fascination with snakes since I was a kid, so having them, brings me this kind of joy that I wasn't able to have for a long time. And I have a bond with these animals in a way that I've developed my working relationship with them. Dutch here is familiar with me. He knows that I'm not a threat to him, but he's definitely not missing me when I'm not around. He's not sitting there like, boy, I really hope Adam comes and yanks me out of my enclosure right now. So, isn't that right, boy? Isn't that right, boy? It's not like having a cat or a dog that's actually excited to see you. So they're the best I got for now. I don't know. Anyway, that's just some food for thought, because that's the situation that I'm in. But think about that kind of stuff. They're living creatures. They require your commitment on so many different levels. And I know I'm not the only one who's an apartment hopper who rents, and times are tough right now. In the past 6 years, I've lived in 4 different houses, and I'll be looking at 5. So it's rough. It's been a rough year. It's cliche at this point to be like, yeah, 2020 was tough on me, but Man, 2020 was tough. And I've been doing a lot to pick myself up and change things. Man, I just realized I'm not branded in my shirt right now, but I don't care. I don't care. Hey boy. We'll flash some merch at the end here, huh? I sent out some stickers and a mug to local who decided to do a little swap with me over at River Exotic Reptiles in Massachusetts. That was pretty cool. So he got my last mug. Actually, no, not even my last mug. He got my second to last mug. I still got one. And some of my other stickers. So I still got some stuff. Like I said, I'm not killing this brand. I'm not killing this channel even. It's just going to be on pause for a little bit while I kind of figure the rest of this stuff out. But, you know, I'm tired of this tiny little room and trying to set up on this tiny little tripod and do all this kind of stuff and not have the kind of filming environment that I want. And like I said, I especially don't want to try and sit here and either wait until this neighbor isn't around or just be feeling like I'm whispering and hiding these videos that are already coming out with quality that I'm not happy with. So we're going to be putting the channel on pause till the spring, and we'll kind of see where we're going from there. And hopefully sometime next year we can get onto our goals of kind of completing this little collection here. So like I said, we got 4 snakes. The idea is to get it to about 6. So we want to find a girlfriend for Dutch here, and a girlfriend for Shao Kahn down there. The only thing that I could think that would maybe change that plan a little bit, and it would still end up with 6, would be just because Shao Kahn is a little bit big and he's kind of a rehome and he's a little finicky, is maybe he wouldn't make a good candidate for a breeder. So maybe if there was a Dumerals breeder out there who would swap a young breeding pair for him, I would consider that. But I feel like there's not much in it for a breeder who's selling to do that. So I would still maybe rather just try and find a somewhat older female. Hey, what are you doing? Look at you're like a pair of handcuffs. And I'm not really looking to get rid of him either because I love him. Same thing. He's already a rehome. I'm not looking to try and send him to yet another home. And he just hopefully takes to doing something like breeding well. He's a pretty snake. I think just working with Dumerals as a species in general would be good. Maybe see what holdbacks would do for that. I would like to work with them and the short tails. And then Dutchy here. What are you doing, boy? You're all twisted up, dude. Just let go. Just let go with your tail. You can let go with your tail. There you go. See? That wasn't that bad. You're okay. You're alright. You're okay, buddy. And then this guy, what I would really like, I think, for him is like a nice hypo jungle to find. So he is a hypo motley het for anery. And since he's already 2 genes, het for 1, like I don't want to try and mess around with like some other animal that's 2 or 3 genes and het for something. I think if just either the right hypo or the right hypo jungle without another het to it came along, that I think would be the right one to kind of have as a pair for him. but I want more of this just creamy peanut butter color. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I like that creamy peanut butter contrasted with that kind of rusty red that he's got going on. And then that would be it. Like I said, get 6 snakes, 3 species to work with. So 3 species that I know I love keeping. Raise them up until they're all really the proper breeding age. See where my life situation is at. And at that point, see if I even actually want to breed them. You know, maybe at that point I just decide, you know what, I thought I wanted to do this. Thought maybe I was ready to do this. And, you know, maybe I decide I'm actually not gonna. Maybe I decide, maybe I try and breed, 1 pair of them, give it a shot, and it's not for me. We'll see. But I would like to have and complete a pair of each and be ready to be able to do it. And we'll see, And I'm not gonna lie, if the right female pied ball python ever came across my path again one day, that would probably be how a ball python gets back in my collection. But for now, it's just 6 snakes, 3 species, be ready to breed, and it'll take, for this pair of short-tailed pythons, another minimum 4 years, if not more like 5. We're talking years and years down the road, see what my life situation's like. Maybe at that point I just have 6 snakes of 3 different species that just are like all my really cool pets, and I look at it and they're like, well, why do you have just these 3 species? And I say, well, I thought maybe one day I wanted to breed them, but now they're just my pets. Who knows? But that's kind of the focus that I want to take with it, rather than all of a sudden start amassing just a ton of snakes and feeling like I can't keep track of them, or jump the gun and get animals that are too old too quick and try and breed them too soon. So that's where I'm going with it. All right, I'm rambling. That's my update. The update is we're going on a pause till spring, and my lesson for the day is make sure that you are prepared to face the consequences if you sneak in animals into your apartment, because it at any point could go in a way you don't quite expect. All right, Dutchie. Say goodbye. Peace out, guys. Once again, I am Adam Davis, and hold on, wait for it. I am the average snake keeper. I'll see you guys when I see you.